Armenian Prime Minister Nikol Pashinyan warned of a, quote, very high likelihood of new Azerbaijani attacks on Nagorno-Karabakh and Armenia in a lengthy and wide-ranging press conference today. It was his first question and answer session with reporters since January. Quote, I think that now there is a very high likelihood of escalation both along Armenia's border and in Nagorno-Karabakh, Pashinyan said, adding, quote, my conclusion comes from Azerbaijan's increasing aggressive rhetoric, and of course we have other information as well. He did not elaborate. Pashinyan continued, quote, that is the reason why Armenia decided to invite European Union observers. Last month, the European Union deployed 50 unarmed civilian monitors to the Armenian side of the border with Azerbaijan for a term of 2 years, marking a major intervention into the conflict by Brussels. The observers are only operating on the Armenian side of the border because Azerbaijan has refused to allow them to enter its territories. Pashinyan alleged today that Azerbaijani President Ilham Aliyev had agreed to allow the monitors to operate on the Azerbaijani side of the border as well at a meeting in Prague last October, but later reversed that position. Pashinyan confirmed he had relayed his concerns over escalating tensions in the region to Russian President Vladimir Putin during the two leaders' latest phone call yesterday. Asked by a reporter how Putin responded, Pashinyan said, quote, of course he said something, but again would not elaborate. Pashinyan also announced that Azerbaijan forwarded another peace treaty draft to Armenia, quote, a few days ago, the latest in an ongoing back and forth of proposals and counter-proposals. Quote, I have to underscore that we do see some progress, but the more progress we see, the more fundamental problems emerge, Pashinyan said. He then accused Azerbaijan of attempting to reach a peace deal that contains territorial claims on Armenia, envisages the ethnic cleansing of Nagorno-Karabakh's Armenians, and does not include a system of international guarantees for implementation. Pashinyan said all three were, quote, red lines that his government would not cross. Turning to the issue of Nagorno-Karabakh, which lies at the heart of the conflict between Armenia and Azerbaijan, Pashinyan reiterated his government's position, prioritizing the, quote, rights and security of the people of Nagorno-Karabakh over a formal settlement of the territory's status, and calling for a, quote, visible international mechanism for direct negotiations between Stepanakert and Baku. Quote, it would be better for the people of Nagorno-Karabakh to be the ones pursuing that issue. We believe that this conversation must take place between Baku and Stepanakert, he said, while underscoring, quote, we aren't going to give Azerbaijan a mandate to commit ethnic cleansing or genocide in Nagorno-Karabakh. Pashinyan also ruled out holding another meeting with Aliyev in the near future, saying, quote, I've never avoided meetings, but at the same time, the experience of our meetings shows that there must be guarantees on the implementation of agreements and obligations. If there are more than 10 agreements and they are not implemented, what is the point of working on something new? To that end, he said Armenia's negotiating team has a, quote, fundamental problem with the Brussels format, referring to EU-mediated peace negotiations. He then floated the idea of moving toward five-way talks among representatives from Armenia, Azerbaijan, France, Germany, and the United States as a way of holding all sides accountable to their commitments. Notably, Pashinyan did not include Russia in that hypothetical group of mediators. Keeping on the subject of Russia, Pashinyan sought to reassure observers that, quote, there is no crisis in relations between Yerevan and Moscow, while also accusing the CSTO, a Russian-led security bloc, of abandoning Armenia. Quote, Armenia is not leaving the CSTO. The organization itself is leaving Armenia, and this worries us, he said. Late last week, the Armenian government announced it would not be sending a representative to serve in the CSTO's secretariat. That came after months of mounting frustration in Yerevan, sometimes even aired publicly by Pashinyan and other senior officials, over the bloc's failure to respond to Azerbaijan's unprecedented assault on Armenia last September.